Welcome everyone back to our podcast, One Gen Talks a Lot. My name is Andrea, and I'll be your host for this podcast, where we have conversations with very special guests in each and every episode, and we'll explore their stories and their perspectives in life. So today is the second episode of our podcast, and we have a very special guest with us. She's a model, she's an actress, she's a martial artist, she's a beauty pageant queen, and she has a very big heart for the community. So let's welcome Miss Universe Malaysia 2024, Sandra Lim. Woo!
Well, so warm, and thank you so much for having me here. Such a pleasure.
It's great to have you here today, Sandra. How are you doing today?
Amazing. You know, for me, I was telling you just now, I've been looking forward to this interview because I finally get to express myself more because I love doing English talks and speeches, and especially in sharing messages of empowerment. I think it's very important and very meaningful to my heart.
Thank you so much for coming today. So maybe do you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Yes, of course. So my name is Sandra Lim. I'm a Miss Universe Malaysia 2024. I was also lucky enough to be the Miss Universe Top 30 just a few months ago. And now I'm an actress, I'm a model, and ambassadors too. Really, really grateful for all the opportunities that I had.
It's really wonderful to see how inspiring you are as a person.
Thank you so
and
much.
all the things that you are doing. So maybe let's rewind a little bit and go back to the beginning. Maybe you can share with us a little bit about how you were as a child. What were you like? Were you like a very quiet child? Were you a naughty child in school? You know, what were you like?
Oh yes, you would be surprised. I was the quietest, most, introverted girl in the whole, like if you see me, I will be in the corner of every room. I will not be talking to anyone. So people are really surprised of how I turned out, actually. Yeah.
So did you enjoy school last time when you were younger, or did you not like school because there were people?
Can I say this? But no,
Please
I
be
didn't
honest.
like school.
I think a lot of people would resonate with that. A lot of you wouldn't like school as well. I didn't really like school as a child as well. So
It's more like I cannot sit still. For me, I'm a sports person. I love going out. I love something active. So sitting in class was not really meant for me, I would say.
All right. So when you were in school, you started your athletics. You were in sports. How did that start?
Actually, I was not discovered at all. I didn't know that I was good in sports. So when I was very young, So when I was very,
No worries.
It's been a while. So when I was younger, I was a very quiet child. So I never took any opportunities to explore my potentials or anything. So because I was kind of struggling with my own life, I went through the darkest times around when I was 10 to 12. So I was facing depression at the time, to be honest. And I was at the age where I didn't even know what depression was. So I was really struggling. But what changed my life around was that a stranger came to me. And as a simple kind of like an act of kindness, he asked me, hey, how are you doing? You don't seem fine. Is something happening in school or in your house, your family? Even though I'd never answered his question, but I cried and I cried because that was the first time when I was shown love and care and kindness, and from a stranger too. So that really changed my life around at the time. I think I was 11, I would say. Yeah, so that was the changing point, as in, hey, you know what? There's still love in this world, and maybe I should give it another try. So I started studying again, and it turned out very well. Apparently, I can do studies pretty well.
Oh, wow. So you're a smart kid.
No, I wouldn't say that, but yeah.
So how did you get into athletics, into sports? Was it through like the competitions that we had at school, the sports day?
That's also from another stranger at the time that came to me, and he said, hey, I actually think you have potentials in sports. Why not you give it a try?
Wow, the person has a sharp eye.
Yeah, and I was so, it never came into my mind to try out sports because at the time I came out and I was in secondary school. So I was like, you know what? I'll take on any challenge. Why not? I'm young. And apparently the first time I joined, I got a gold medal. So that's when my coach, I was already learning martial arts at the time, and my coach was like, hey, she has potential. So he started sending me to competitions, to nationals, and then soon enough internationals.
Mm. So what are the sports or the athletics that you were involved in?
I did martial arts,
Mm-hmm.
wushu,
Mm-hmm.
and mainly I did sparring.
Sparring.
Yeah, but I was also a track and field athlete at the time.
So a lot of running.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's how I skipped school.
Oh yes, oh yes. You would skip you would have valid reason to skip classes.
Yes, exactly. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
I need to go prepare for the competitions.
Oh,
I'll be back soon, and I'm gone for a week. So
I would envy those people so much when I had to sit in class last time. So you had you I think spent quite a lot of time in athletics, in martial arts, right? So how did this experience shape you as you are today, like in terms of discipline, in terms of your mindset?
definitely discipline, and it really embedded in me the values of if you work hard on something, you would definitely get it. Because sports is it's a very factual thing, as in how hard you work for it, you will see the results.
Yep.
So that's what I learned from sports. And the discipline, as in no matter how tired you are today, you still have to put in the effort. Even if you don't feel like it, you still go out there and make it happen. So that's what something that instilled in me through sports. So I carried that throughout and into pageantry as well. I think that's how I really performed, I would say.
So speaking about pageantry, so when you were in sports for quite some time, so how did you transition into pageantry? Why this change?
It came to me, the opportunity,
Oh.
because I was never in my wildest dream I would think that I'll be wearing heels, I'll be dressing up beautiful, because I'm actually like a sports person.
Yeah, like a
So
sporty sport
literally I
person.
would be running in the fields barefoot with no shoes
yeah.
under the hot sun. So that was what I was used to. So never in my mind I would think like, hey, I want to do makeup one day, I want to wear heels one day. But when it came to me, they were trying to scout people, and they were saying, hey, you're very tall and quite beautiful. Do you want to try modeling or pageantry? So at the time, I just came out from sports because I got injured. So it was like a transition period. And I thought, why not? Because I represented Malaysia before in sports. So I thought it would be the same thing as in representing Malaysia for pageantry.
Yeah.
No, it's a whole different world. Trust me, it's very different. So I just thought in my head, hey, I'm just representing Malaysia again. But yeah, I carried with me the sports spirit. That's how I got into top 30 the first time I joined pageants as well. But it's also, it's a whole new world for me at the time.
So you said it's the pageantry world is very, very different from being in the
Yes,
sports
for
world,
sure.
right? So what was the environment like? Was it like a lot of pressure? Was it very stressful?
To me, not at all. I think because if you enjoy the whole journey and you be present, you would really feel the moment. When you're in the moment, you don't feel the pressure as in, oh, I want to do this, oh, I need to do better in this. You don't feel so much of the tension and the competitiveness. You're more focused on doing what you should be doing. I think I also got that from sports. Because sports person, we're never thinking about what the other person is performing. We're focused on ourselves. And then building ourselves to our best. So I brought that into pageantry, and I'm very glad that I am like that, because when you're in such a competitive environment, especially competing with so many other countries, you would definitely look at other girls like, oh, she's so much more beautiful. Oh my gosh, I don't have a chance anymore. A lot of girls that I know have that kind of mentality, and I don't blame them for it, because the girls in pageantry are beautiful.
I can imagine.
Like, I cannot deny that for sure. I am staring at them every day. I'm like, oh, so beautiful. So I understand from their perspective, it could come off as a pressure. But to me, I'm just enjoying my view, to be honest. I'm there to look at the beautiful girls.
So you're saying that basically when you were in sports, you had this kind of mindset where you only want to focus on doing your best and not focusing on other people and how they're doing. And so this is a mindset that you picked up in sports. And when you came into pageantry, you brought this mindset along with you. And it really helped you a lot with trying to drown out the noise,
definitely.
comparing yourself with other people.
Yeah, because there will be a lot of opinions, especially when you're in a public view. People will tell you or advise you what you should do, what you should not do, especially with women. because there's so much social tags that people put on women on what you should or should not be like, what you should or should not do. So it's really important to focus on yourself, know where you stand and what your values are. Especially if you stick to it, then you know which path you want to go down to.
Solid advice, guys.
And I'm really glad, actually, pageantry opened up a whole new world to me, because the quote saying that if one door closes, another opens is like a whole religious experience to me. Because when I came out from sports was my entire life at the time. So I thought I lost everything because I was very injured. I fractured my spine, to be honest. Yeah, people didn't know that about me. So when I went into pageantry, I was not expecting much. I was just exploring, you know, trying new things. But it really opened up another door for me to explore and to reach a potential and like a purpose in life that I'll never imagine I'll be here. So I think it's really important for us to take that step, you know, try new things.
Yeah. So in your entire experience in pageantry, were there any memorable or any interesting moments that you had, any fun moments that you had, especially when you were in Mexico?
Oh, absolutely. You know, the most memorable thing that I remember from Mexico, aside from, of course, being called into the top 30 in Miss Universe, that was definitely the moment to remember, because Malaysia, since 1970, we haven't had that moment since. So to me, that was the moment where I looked into the lights and I teared up. My tears just came down like that. Like I couldn't stop it. But that was really the most important and significant moment. But memorable for myself was the first day when I arrived, because I'm Asian and I'm Malaysian. So people rarely think of Malaysia as a country when it comes to an international competition like this. We would look at Thailand, we would look at Philippines, we would look at maybe Vietnam, you know, Indonesia. But people rarely think about Malaysia. I try not to be controversial, but people would think about Singapore more than Malaysia, you know? So I never expected, when I reached there the first day, we went into this parade. It was 8 in the morning, and there was a lot of local people, Mexicans, Colombians, Venezuelans, they were there. And when they saw me, they were cheering my country. They were like, Malaysia, Malaysia,
Wow.
Malaysia. I was in such shock. And also, like, you know, pleasantly shocked. I was so like, oh my gosh.
So very, very touched.
Yeah, I am very, because it was a 30-hour flight to Mexico for me. So I was so far away from home and feeling the love from the locals and knowing that Malaysia hasn't been seen in the international view for quite a long time. So for me to be able to hear people from another country chanting our country's name, that's definitely something that, hey, you know, I did this. You know, we did this.
You did
and
this.
Malaysia is definitely seen this time. And it's only day one. So I was very, very happy at the time.
So it kind of set the mood for the rest of your...
Exactly, yeah. You know, to me, that was really like an empowering moment. I'm like, you know what? Let's do this. You know?
That's amazing. So with moments like these, but there are also a lot of low moments, a lot of challenges that you would have faced definitely throughout this entire experience, right? So I also read that you had an injury, a very serious injury. So was this your biggest challenge, or were there any other challenges that you faced?
I think as I went into pageantry, because it's a career where you have to be on heels most of the time. You have to be out there speaking to people and present yourself very, you know, very well. And for me as an actress, I do stunt, so martial arts. It's definitely a difficulty for me to have my injury, because I went to the doctors and I was actually given a doctor's advice to never wear heels ever again, and to not do sports, like extreme sports. And I told the doctor, I was like, those are the only 2 things that I'm doing right now. So I was advised, doctor's advice against doing what I do. So that was definitely difficult for me, because as an athlete, being able to do sports is my entire life. You know, I cannot let that go. And being told by the doctors that you should not and should never be doing that again is it definitely has its toll on my my mental. But you know, I really overcame it, thinking that, hey, you know what, if I can go through this, I would have a lot more chances in the future. You know, it will be a story for a lifetime. Yeah, so I told myself I have to push it. Yeah.
So mainly what helped you to get through this is just fixing on moving forward and just pushing yourself.
Yes, definitely. You have to push beyond your limits. Even if it's told that it's physically impossible, to me, nothing's impossible. As long as you set yourself out there, you want to push beyond the limits, you can definitely achieve anything. Because people tell me too, it's impossible for Malaysia to place in Miss Universe. But we did.
Yeah.
So nothing's impossible, you know, as long as you set your mind to do it.
Solid advice. All right, so moving on. So now that you've come back from Malaysia and you're here, you're doing stuff, you're doing a lot of advocacy stuff as well, right? And you mentioned earlier that you went through a dark period of your life when you were about 10 or 11 years old. So maybe you can share a little bit more about that and also how that experience shaped who you are today.
I think for me to have gone through a dark time like that when I was very young, in my own personal experience, I would tell myself that, you know what, whatever that comes into any difficulties or if there were any difficulties that come to my life now, nothing's ever as difficult as the time when I was younger, because now I have the tools, I have the experiences, the people around me to help me. But when I was younger, I felt very alone, struggling with mental thoughts like that are negative, that really harms you in a way. Like for me, that was the darkest time I've had. But yeah, you know, going through that and being able to succeed right now, it's really such an empowering experience, telling me, myself, and people that look at me that, hey, nothing can take you down, you know? So what I've gone through at the time, it really made me more empathetic of children, for sure, because I know how helpless children can feel when they're not given the mental support, the emotional support, and the care and the opportunities that they deserve. So that's why now, with the platforms that I have, with the people around me with the same passion and vision that I have, I want to do as much as I could to give children the opportunity to pursue what they could. Their highest potentials is limitless. Even they themselves won't know unless they go and explore. Just like me, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, I would have never thought I'll be here. You know, even 5 years ago, I would have never thought that I'll be here sitting as your Miss Universe top 30. So to me, you need to help those children explore their truest potentials. And that's what I'm doing now.
So because I also do work with children a little bit in my area of work, and your words are really, really inspiring. What you're sharing today is really inspiring.
Thank you.
Because I also do see the kids that we work with, they also have a lot of potential, but a lot of the times it's just it goes unnoticed, it goes unrealized, and it's just left like that.
Exactly. And for me, it was really such an experience where a stranger came into my life, and it was nothing really like majestic, as in I give you money, I help you do this and that. No, it was just a word of encouragement, as in, hey, I see potential in you. Maybe you should try it out. Why not?
And showing
You could be
care,
good,
showing concern.
and showing concern and care. That was really the bare minimum. It's like very minimal, but it really changed my life. And people don't see that, you know. If they've never experienced that for themselves, they don't see the meaning behind doing things like that for our children, especially. Because for our children, it's the time and period to shape them who they could be in our society in the future. So I think it's definitely the most important time for us to go and help them during these times. Yeah.
All right, so in light of that, now that you're back in Malaysia again, and you have been doing a lot of advocacy work lately as well, right? So what's next for you? Do you plan to continue in the entertainment industry, or do you have other plans that you want to explore? Any new fields that you want to conquer?
For sure. I have an upcoming movie.
Oh.
I won't tell because I cannot spoilers. But for me, it's really important to instill an empowering and important message in every work that I do. So even the movie that I'm about to go on right now, it also carries a very meaningful message. You'll see soon.
All
I'm
right.
so excited to share it to the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's very a meaningful project coming
All
up.
right. So we'll look forward to that.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, so before we end, thank you so much. Maybe would you like to share some advice for young Malaysians who maybe they have really, really big dreams, but they are currently struggling with where they are right now in their lives?
I would say I completely understand where you stand because I came from nothing, to be honest. No background, no connections, no support, even emotional support. So I fought through all that to be here today. So I would say that you can be the writer of your own story. Whatever that is happening to you now is just it's just an experience for you to share in your story in the future, and it will be a beautiful one. Whatever that happens in the future, it will be a beautiful journey and chapter, a new chapter for you. So you decide now what that next chapter would look like. And go out there, pursue, never think that anything could stop you. The sky's not the limit. You can reach beyond. Push through your limits, and you'll find yourself in such a much better place.
Wow, that's such beautiful advice.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, Sandra, for coming today. Thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you, Andrea.
And thank you for your inspiring words as well. I think our audience will be really, really inspired by what you have shared today. May God bless you and your future endeavors, your upcoming projects, and your works, your advocacy works. So, thank you guys for checking in as well today. We will release our next episode next month. So, remember to check in next month with our very special guests. So, see you all. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.